Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to everybody for our first introductory webinar for the Precious Paths Rawaf group. So this webinar is going to be limited for the people who have the Rawaf package and who have signed us up for as their guides, because we are going to share things which are going to be very specific for those who judge who have signed us up for the Hajj, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إن الحمد لله إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الأنبياء والمرسلين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So again, I welcome everyone to our webinar. So we are going to keep this session probably for just about half an hour. So just bear with us, inshallah, and we will come back with more details at a later time. There were a few things that we wanted to share with you so that you all understand where we are, what we are working over, what are our next immediate targets from the team perspective. So one of the again, to as a reminder, as preparing yourself for the Hajj, continuously recite this ayah, this talbiyah. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wal ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. This will inshallah ta'ala start getting you into the mood of the Hajj, into that spiritual training that you need to go through, inshallah. It'll get you started. So we are continuously looking at how to make the journey less challenging. So this is basically the process that you see here. So these are the different steps of Hajj. So two of the things that are very critical, very challenging is, one of them is when you get to Muzdalifah. From Muzdalifah, uh, coming to Jamaral to Mina, this is a little bit of a challenging situation where immediately after Fajr Salah, you need to travel towards Mina. Uh, from a arrangements perspective, this gets to be challenging. The other part, which is really challenging, is after you have performed the Jamara, from Jamara going to Haram for Tawaf al-Ifada. This, from all several years and years, unfortunately, this is a very challenging situation because generally there is no transportation available. The transportation that's available, in many cases, they take great advantage of the people. So it gets very, very challenging. So we've been looking at how to make the life easier for our Hujjaj, for them to travel from Jamara to Haram on 10th of Dhul Hijjah for Tawaf al-Ifada. And the second part is actually the Udiyah, the Qurbani. If it is not included in the package, which most of the packages this year have not included the Udiyah, so you can get the Udiyah through other sources. But we have also found that in some cases that becomes challenging as to and also are they performing within the precincts, within the precincts of Haram, Makkah, that also becomes challenging. So we were looking at the two of the things among several other things we are looking at, and we wanted to highlight as to what we are planning for this one. So the travel from Jamara to Kaaba on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah does become very challenging. So we started looking at, and we are working with some bus companies to arrange for a bus that would be a bus that is dedicated to our Hujjaj, and pick up like somewhere near the Bin Dawood, which is like about 10 to 15 minutes walk from the Jamara. So pick up the passengers from here, our Hujjaj from here, at a designated time. So we are considering something such as like either 10 a.m. or something on 10th of Dhul Hijjah. All the Hujjaj that are in our group, this is, again, I want to repeat this is for Rawaf Hujjaj, the Hujjaj who have the Rawaf Mina package and who have signed us up as the guide. This we cannot make arrangement for anyone else for many, many different reasons. One is because we have to concentrate, and because we are the guides, so our responsibility lies with our Hujjaj at the time. So any Hujjaj that has signed up for us, we are planning on arranging for a bus that would pick up from Bin Dawood and then take it and drop off at a location which is close to Haram. Probably either something that is behind Clock Tower or on the other side near Safa Marwa. Either near Safa Marwa area, there is a bus stop here, probably there, or there is a bus stop behind the Clock Tower there, or one of the other locations which would be much closer to the Haram. Now, one of the big challenge that comes up on these days is the police, the Makkah police, would be closing down several roads accessing the Haram. So we are working with the bus operators to see how we can best facilitate even that one. Okay, so which would be the best spot to drop off our Hujjaj. And of course, the once the Tawaf al-Ifada is done, we also want to bring our passengers back to their hotels. We are working on figuring out which is the best location at a designated time for Tawaf al-Ifada. Now, all of this is not included as part of the service provider. It will be at an additional cost, but we are trying to figure out what that cost would be. But we will keep that very, very nominal, inshallah ta'ala, for each pilgrim. That is our focus. That is what we are working towards, to make sure that we can make all these arrangements at a nominal cost, inshallah ta'ala, in a way that it facilitates our Hujjaj to perform the Tawaf al-Ifada, which is required, by the way. So this is what part of the rukun of the completing the Hajj, inshallah. One of the rukun of the Hajj, inshallah. So from Bin Dawood, our plan is for the bus to pick up close to Jamaral. This is Jamaral. This is the Bin Dawood, is one of the main grocery chain link, basically supermarket. So there is a bus stop here. So we would have the Hujjaj picked up from this location and take them to Kaaba for them to perform Tawaf al-Ifada, drop them off close to Haram, and then at the end of the Tawaf al-Ifada, giving everybody sufficient time, maybe like 3-4 hours or so, bring them back to either the Jamaral or the Mina camp. We have to figure out what's the best option, or to the hotel that is assigned, inshallah. So we are working through the details. We just want you to know we are working on this one. Now, the other challenge is the Udiyah. As I mentioned earlier, Udiyah is what's referred to as the Qurbani that the Hujjaj performed after they have completed the Jamarat on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. So we are looking at how last year we made the same arrangements, and we are probably going to make the same arrangements. But this time, because the number of the Hujjaj in our group have increased significantly, the ones who have selected as guides, we have to limit this within our group. So the Hujjaj who have signed us up as their guides will have this option. So this will be performed within the precincts of Makkah, which is a requirement. Now we have seen in some cases where some of the online Udiyah companies, they perform outside of the Makkah precinct. And again, this we want to make sure that we keep it within the precincts of Makkah. Brother Samir has identified, he's working with some providers, the provider of the cattle, to make sure that we keep it within the precincts of Makkah. The mostly it will be done much before the Dhuhr time, so that immediately after the Udiyah you can change out of Ihram, inshallah ta'ala. And we are arranging it again at a very, very nominal cost. Last year we kept it under $150, and with all the increase in cost, we probably will keep this year still under $200, not much more than that, which was this was almost $100 less than the cost that most of the other online providers were charging. And even this year, if you look at it, when it was offered as an additional service, it was almost like $250 or more even this year. So this is a planner. This is your preparation planner. This you should look at it as your planner for preparing yourself for the Hajj. The most important thing is start planning on a spiritual side. You need to start that immediately. This is not the fiqh part necessarily. This is starting to get into that mode of the Hajj. The Hajj is a challenging journey. Hajj is a journey that requires a lot of patience. This is the time when you have to learn to do lots of ibadah, concentrate on the spiritual part. You need to start working on this spiritual preparation. The second part is the physical preparation. No matter which type of camp that you have, no matter how which hotel you are in, it is still a physical challenges. The tawaf, 7 rounds, the going back, the going from Safa Marwa, that is Saeed, that gets challenging. So this requires that you start preparing. The recommendation is from now onwards, immediately after Ramadan. I mean, of course, during Ramadan, walking 2 miles might be a challenging. So start walking as much as possible. Because if you are in Al Muassam camp, it's about 3 miles walk to Jamara and 3 miles walk back. So that you would be doing 3 days or 4 days. 3 days required, 4 days possibly. So that is a good amount of walk. So start preparing from a physical perspective. You might want to start exercising if you have not been exercising. This is a great opportunity to start. The one of the beautiful thing about what Ministry of Hajj has done this year is you know that you have a package almost 2 months before. Not 2 months before, it's actually a little bit more than that, almost 9 to 10 weeks before the start of the Hajj, you know about it. So you have uh, quite a bit of time for you to start preparing on this one. And also go ahead and start doing your connection flight. If you are flying at a gateway which is further away from your location, start arranging for the connecting flight. The connecting flight, again, for example, if you are flying out of Washington, and if you live in Atlanta, or if you live in Miami, etc., you need to arrange for the connecting flight. Our recommendation is give yourself enough time in case if there are delays or cancellations of your connecting flight. You should be able to make alternate arrangements, such as take a rental car, drive to Washington, or find another flight that will get you into your gateway location. One of the critical thing is you do not want to miss your Hajj flight, because in those weeks, the weeks before the start of the Hajj, the flights going into Jeddah will all be full. Getting another flight would almost be impossible in the last minute. The other thing is start connecting with your guide. Most probably we will start assigning the guide sometime in the middle of April, once Rawaf tells us, gives us all the data, the statistics, etc. Probably sometime in the middle of April, we are going to start assigning the guide. Stay in touch with the guide. Start developing that relationship, starting to understand how the guide will work with you, etc. So you need to start working probably mid-April to third week of April, inshallah ta'ala, you should start doing it. Visa and ticket. I know lots of people have been very anxious asking the questions. This will not happen until after the middle of the April, after all the data has been collected. So relax. Do not get worried about it. Do not get overworked about this situation here. The visa and the ticket, you will start getting the details of this one sometime like probably third week of April, and probably by mid May, you should have these things squared away, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so relax. Okay, the webinar on logistics, we are going to start scheduling them sometime from the middle of April all the way. It'll go all the way until the third week of May, inshallah ta'ala. And we'll also share once in the as part of the logistics, the webinar on logistics, we are going to share some of the recommendations on what type of supplies and what type of luggage you need to have. So you can start acquiring the supplies, starting to collect all of these things together, starting from the middle to third week of April, all the way you have all the month of May to work on that one. And somewhere towards the same time, we are going to start a webinar on fiqh, and then we'll also schedule a webinar for sisters, inshallah ta'ala. We are working on this one. So you know, the sisters can comfortably get into a webinar and ask questions from the Maulima, inshallah ta'ala. So once you have all these things together, you need to start collecting your travel documents, and then start getting ready for Hajj Baitullah, inshallah ta'ala. So this we have shared many times before. Just wanted to review it again. So 7th of Dhul Hijjah, you should be at least by 7th of Dhul Hijjah, you should be in Makkah so that you can perform your Umrah, which is the starting of the Hajj, the steps for the Hajj. You do this thing, and around the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, either early morning or before noon or before sunset, the service provider and your guide will make arrangement, inshallah ta'ala. We'll make sure that you get to Mina before the sunset of the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, and make sure that we are with you in the camp that are assigned basically. On the early morning of the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, we will arrange for your transportation to leave the Mina to Arafat, and you're going to spend the entire day in Arafat on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, and before the sunset, we will have the transportation take you to Muzdalifah, inshallah ta'ala. Again, through all this process, our guides will be with you. Our guides will be with you throughout the process. In fact, our guides will be with you from the time you get to the hotel to the time you are flying back out of Saudi Arabia. The service providers, Rawaf Mina, their resources will be at the airport to transport you from the airport to the hotel, and from there on, inshallah ta'ala, our guides will take over all your arrangements, inshallah ta'ala. So then on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, you are at the Jamaral, and then you will go for Tawaf al-Ifada. This is the one I was referring from. The transportation from 5th to the 6th is where we are working to make sure we can make your journey, this journey, easier, inshallah ta'ala. So after Tawaf, you would come back to Mina for Jamara for the next 2 days or 3 days, and then Tawaf al-Wida, and you're back on your journey, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so that's what I had for a presentation. So, Wasim, do you have questions already in the chat, or do you want to start opening the mic for a few this thing? Brother Samir, you are on. Uh, you can go ahead and unmute your mic and make any comments if you have any comments to make. So these are the list of our guides. You will get a lot more detail, inshallah ta'ala, about these guides, inshallah, in the next few weeks as we start getting more details into it. Brother Samir, go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I mean, Jazakallah khair for all the introduction. Alhamdulillah. I mean, as Sheikh Farid mentioned, I mean, our support, inshallah. I just want to mention one more thing. Our additional support that we are going, inshallah, on extended support for our Hajjaj, even while they're still in their hometown. Some of them, they just today, subhanallah, I mean, they faced some issues with their tickets, with their passport details on Nusuk, even though they secured their ticket, their package, and they bought it. Some of them they like facing some minor issues with their details. So they open up a ticket with Nusuk. Our extended effort is like we took these tickets number, we called Rawaf, me being here in Saudi, and I know how to talk to them, and I know the culture now. I'm very easy for me here to call them. So we called the Nusuk office, alhamdulillah, and we solved this issue. And additionally, we are working on a couple of other cases, inshallah. We will try with Nusuk, inshallah, to solve it in the next couple of days, inshallah. This is one of the examples for as an additional support for our Hajjaj. If you're like wondering why am I supposed to join you, Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Samir. That's a very good point Brother Samir is making. We are continuously looking at on how we can make the life simpler. Again, our groups, our team's commitment is to help every Hujjaj, no question about it. But we, of course, have to pay extra attention to the Hujjaj who have signed up with us, because we want to make sure that when they are there in during the Hajj time, their life would be easier, and by them being easier, of course, we get a lot more reward also. Okay, Brother Wasim, do you have questions?
Yeah, so one question here is how many Hujjaj are assigned to one guide?
I'm sorry.
How many Hujjaj are assigned to one guide?
Oh, Rawaf Mina will assign 45 Hujjaj per guide. Okay, but also at the same time, Rawaf Mina will also provide an additional local resource to assist with the 45 Hujjaj. Now, bear in mind, I mean, yes, it is 45 to one guide, but at the same time, pretty much we all will be together. Okay, especially during the Mina time, during the camp time, we all are going to be together. So if you look at it, the entire team will be with you there. So it is not just 1 to 45 during the camp time. 1 to 45 is more about the hotel and the bus transportation. But once we are together, all of us will be there to support each other, inshallah.
The next question is somebody's coming alone. So they're saying, is there a chance to connect with other pilgrims in the same group from beforehand?
Yes. One of the things that we are going to do is we are going to start creating some regional groups also, so that you can start connecting with them. And the this question came to me a few times. Okay, Hajj is a beautiful journey from a relationship perspective. Okay, and I'm going to give you an example. My first Hajj was almost 30 some years back. The people I met at that Hajj, I am at least about two, three people, at least three, four families, I should say. We are very close friends. These people I didn't know them before. These people are from different cultures. We have attended their children's wedding. We have attended their children's birth even. So it's a beautiful time for you to develop the relationship. Why am I mentioning this? I know people are concerned I'm going alone or my parents are old. Please do not worry about it. Once you are together, you become a family. You become a family. That's the beauty of the Hajj time. So, especially if you're sharing the rooms, you're constantly with each other, you will almost become a family. It becomes one big support group, actually. Even once you land in Saudi Arabia, it becomes one large family. But even before that, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to create groups so that you can start talking to each other and developing that relationship beforehand. Next.
Yeah, there's a fiqh question. Inshallah, we'll address fiqh question separately about stoning and how many days. Inshallah, we'll do a detail on that. Next question is transportation to Jamarat. Will that be included?
Transportation to Jamarat. Okay. Besides what I just mentioned, from the camp to the Jamarat, there is no transportation. There is absolutely no transportation other than if you're in the Al Kabsh camp, there is the Haramain train that will take you from the camp to the Jamarat. If you are in Al Muassim camp, there is no transportation. The transportation that I want to be clear, the transportation that we were referring to is from Jamarat to the Haram. If that's what you're referring, yes, that's what we are planning on making it a little bit simpler for people, inshallah.
Somebody saying their return flight is on June 20th. So is that too early? Will I miss Tawaf Wida?
The no airline will fly during the Hajj time. So this question has come up with Rawaf a few times, and Rawaf has committed to making sure, of course, that you don't miss any of the arkan, and even if they have to, transport you in the last minute, they will make those arrangements. So no, it's not early. I mean, of course, it's always good to have a few extra days, but if that's how the group flights are, if that's how it is, you're still okay. It is not going to be a difficult situation. You're not going to miss any of the arkans of the Hajj, inshallah ta'ala.
Question about changing flights. So, for example, somebody is saying that my hotel is in Medina for 3 days, but my return is right after the next day I arrive. So, I would basically the 2 days in Medina they wouldn't be able to use because flight is early. And the same thing about in the beginning of the flight, somebody wanted to fly from New York, but their flight was booked from Los Angeles. So, questions about changing flights, basically. Yeah.
We are going to work with individual on this one. We can reach out. So we need to wait until Rawaf gets all the data from Nusuk so that they can understand what flights are available. what can they possibly do. And after that, we will try to help you as much as possible in facilitating the discussion with Rawaf, inshallah ta'ala. So just give us until middle of April and let Rawaf get all their data, and inshallah after that we will try to facilitate some of these discussions, inshallah. So
Right.
this
Yeah.
applies to flight, and this also applies to occupancy. So any question that you have about occupancy and about flight, just hold it until middle of April, and let's allow Rawaf to get all their data together so that they understand what level of occupancy is available, what flights are available that they can possibly accommodate their hujjaj.
I accidentally lowered few people's hands. If you can raise your hands again, shall I give you a chance to ask? But yeah, in the meantime, somebody's asking, I have chosen Al Bayt package. Will you be able to support us? And is it possible for us to join your
Again,
group?
as I said right at the beginning, this is for anybody that has a Rawaf package. You should not have been in this webinar, but Alhamdulillah, it's okay. You're welcome. The webinar is only for Rawaf group, which has selected us as guides. We cannot support any other service provider. Okay, we cannot support any other service provider. We have tried to work with some of the representatives from some of the service providers to at least guide you and to answer some of the questions that you might have. We did try. We tried to get some representation so that, even though we cannot, we wanted to kind of have uh, one other the different teams to at least start working with our group of people, but unfortunately we could not make that happen.
Next question is, somebody booked a custom flight and their middle name there is not matching the passport completely. So how do they get it corrected?
Okay. Any questions with the profile? Any questions with these kind of questions? You should drop an email to Nusuk and then wait for a day or two for any resolution. If you don't get it, you can go ahead and message us with the ticket number. We'll follow up and see if there is anything we can help you with. But I'm glad that question came up. Please do not go into your profile and try to make any changes. If you find in your profile, for example, your name is not you misspelled it, or if your passport number is not correct, or if you got a new passport number, please do not touch your profile. Do not touch your profile. It can go into verification, and that can cause you lots of challenges. Just drop an email, create a ticket with Nusuk, and then let them make the changes. If they ask you to make the changes, that's one thing. That means they are following up and they are going to get your account back into the order. Okay. Other than that, do not go into your profile and make any changes. In fact, do not touch that edit button that is on top of your profile. You're more than welcome to go review what's in your profile, but do not touch that edit button. Next.
Yeah, transportation. So yeah, I think I'll quickly answer. Yeah, so if Medina first package, but they're landing in Jeddah, so yeah, the service provider Rawaf Mina will arrange transportation to Medina. Uh, and then somebody's asking that they have a specific Rawaf package. So how do I know if I'm going to be part of your group, Rawaf?
Uh, okay. I'm assuming the question is asking, you have a Rawaf package. How do you know you're going to be part of our group? If you have selected us uh, as us being your guides, what the process that's going to be is, we are going to take all the list of our members who have selected us as the guide. We are going to take this list and share it with Rawaf Mina. And Rawaf Mina is going to take that list and then assign us as guides. We will know exactly how they are going to lay out the different groups by middle of April, inshallah. Immediately after Ramadan, we should know it. So they look at the what does the Hujjaj want. This is where we are saying our members, these Hujjaj want us to be their guides. That is what the list we are going to provide to them. And that's why we've been asking by today to make that selection so that we can get that list together and share it with the Rawaf.
Okay, we'll give. I'm going to turn on the mic, but I'm going to call out people who have raised their hands. So request only people who whose names are called to turn on their mic. But yeah, the first one is Brother Bilal Razak.
Go ahead,
You
Brother
can
Bilal.
Assalamu alaikum. So my question is regarding the transportation between Makkah, Medina, and Jeddah. I know most of the all the Rawaf packages say bus. So can you just speak like at a high level the pros and cons of going by the train during Hajj time versus going by the bus?
Okay.
So that's my question.
Okay, going by train is of course faster, right? It takes about 2 hours to travel from Medina to Makkah, Makkah to Medina. Okay, by bus it takes about 5 to 6 to 7 hours, depending on stops and all that, right? But if you go by with your group, whatever the group arrangements are, and in case of Rawaf, it's mostly bus, as you said, right? So you will be with your group. Your guide and your service provider, Rawaf, will be responsible for your transportation. You're not concerned about your luggage. With Haram and train, they generally during the Hajj, especially, they are going to restrict what you can carry with you. They generally allow only one suitcase, and even your carry-on, that it might become challenging. So these are a little bit of cons, but of course the comfort with the train is much more there. Okay, but staying with your group will make things a lot easier for you. Okay, next question, please.
so Brother Mansur. Good.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I
Welcome.
asked the same question before. So is it the Hajj Guide ATL 2024 the way to join your group?
Yes.
Okay, I will register for myself and my wife. The other
I mean, the way I'm sorry, let me make sure I clear that. There is a Hujjat survey we have released, which is the Google form. You need to go in there and provide your information. Okay.
yeah, I think
The
I
one you see here, you see this one here. This is the one. This is the QR code for that one. Okay, you can scan that one, and you will get into the Google form.
okay. So will I get any correspondence email or anything saying that I have joined your group?
Well, if you if you submit this information, we are going to invite you to our Telegram group, chat group, basically. So that is a way of confirmation that you have registered with us.
Okay. Okay, so I have joined that group. I have a question about
So
my
what
custom
you
flight.
might, I'm sorry, Mansoor, if you're not sure, please go into this one and make sure that you have submitted all your information.
Okay. So in the
Okay?
future, inshallah, I will have a request about my custom flight extension. So I need a small help there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
okay, Jazakallah khairan.
We are going to release in the next couple days for our group members a Google Doc where you can go in and put all these requests in, and we will start working on it, inshallah ta'ala. Okay?
Okay. Okay, Jazakallah khairan.
All right. All right. 1 minute before someone else. Brother Hussam, are you on the call? Brother Hussam, if you're on, say salam to the rest of the group. He's one of our guide. Sister Samina, are you on the chat?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. I'm in the
Welcome, sir.
chat.
Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sister Samina. I'm here to help facilitate all the issues and questions for the sisters as far as communication and any other issues. They can reach out to me, and hopefully, inshallah, ta'ala, with Allah's help, I'd like to coordinate with the maulimas and questions that the sisters might have directly with the maulima. We'll try to coordinate a group for that, inshallah.
So on that point, Sister Samina is actually building a panel of Maulimas to make sure that more than one is available in the group chat, the sisters group chat, so that you can comfortably ask all the questions, inshallah. Okay, Brother Hossam.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. This is Hussam Hamza. I'm really happy to share with the group, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen. And I already have like several times going to Hajj group with the biggest company here in the United States. And we have, alhamdulillah, very good experience about the transportation and how to deal with Mina and Arafat and all this area, which is we need to help all the, especially the new Haji. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy, and we can afford, and we can make it easy for every Hajj, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen, with pleasure to help all the Hajj, inshallah. Thank you.
Inshallah. So on that point, I want to point out a few things. I know a few people have messaged me concerned with their parents going for Hajj and how they'll make sure. Do not worry about it. Okay. As I said earlier, it becomes one big family, and all the guides together will ensure that the parents, the especially the older people, elderly, we will make sure that they are comfortable and they are taken care of. The Hujjaj themselves will take care of them also. So please do not worry about it. And if we will be there to make sure that they are comfortable, but even otherwise, the other Hujjaj will take care of them. We develop this into a family, inshallah. Okay. Uh, any other questions, Wasim? We need to start wrapping up the call. We will have more of these webinars. Inshallah ta'ala, we'll make this into a regular session so that, there is an opportunity for our Hujjaj to start asking the questions. Now, I know there are other people on this webinar who are not part of our group and who are probably not with Rawaf. I do apologize. We will have to limit the call to only the people who have signed up with us, just so that, it's already a fairly large group, alhamdulillah. Okay. We want to make sure that they have the opportunity because we need to get the issues resolved as quickly as possible. That doesn't mean we'll not help the others. We will continue to help them. Everybody that is going for Hajj, we will continue to help. We'll continue to have the training webinars. The training webinars will be open to everybody that is in our the main group chat. Okay, I'm referring to these webinars on specific issues and questions that our group of Hajis who have trusted us as their guides, we can respond to them. Okay, Wasim, a few more questions and then we need to wrap up.
Yeah, I think Brother Danish, you want to ask your question? So I think Danish, and then one last is after that. I believe there's one more person. Yeah, so whoever has their hand raised and has not asked question, we'll take a couple of more questions and then we'll wrap up, inshallah.
Brother Danish, do you have a question?
Okay, I guess, yeah, then there was question about somebody having 4 people in their group and they have selected quad. So yeah, just work with the assigned guide. Inshallah, they will be able to provide the same room together, inshallah. And somebody's asking about if there is any fees for selecting guides. There isn't. And then somebody's asking about the Telegram group, that should all the members of the family join the group, or just the main person? Yeah.
We want everybody to join that one. Everybody that is in your account should join the Rawaf group. We are going to start looking at how we can better structure that Rawaf group, so that it has all the Rawaf members who have selected as our guides are in that one, because we are going to start sharing things that are more relevant to that group. Basically, we are going to start thinking about how to best manage that, inshallah. But yes, we want all the members that are in your account to join these groups so that they are all aware of different things that we are planning on for them.
So I think Brother Danish, he's saying that he had some. Yeah, he is up now. You want
Go
to
ahead,
ask your
Brother
question?
Danish.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I had a quick question for you. So basically, what I understand is that there are different packages and there are different groups flying from different locations. So my understanding was that we all fly together, let's say from Toronto, with a specific package, and we're together for the entirety of the journey until we're back. But what I understand now is that there will be different guides and different groups depending on who we choose while we're there. So are those groups going to be people from different packages all clustered together, or am I not understanding this properly?
Okay, the way it's going to work is from wherever different locations you're going to fly in, once you land into Jeddah and once you come into the Once you come, see, you're absolutely right. There are so many packages, there are so many cities, different people are flying in, and so until you come into the hotel, because the guide has to be at the hotel, okay, to make sure that they can welcome all the hujjah that are part of that package, that are part of their group. So the way it's going to work is you will be welcomed at the airport by Rawaf's representative, and they'll make sure you're transported to the appropriate location. And once you reach that location, from there on, the guide takes over making your arrangements and will be with you throughout the rest of the journey, inshallah.
Okay, makes sense. Perfect. Jazakallah khair.
Okay. So this also, I want to make sure I also clarify one thing. People are concerned about, well, I'm flying from Chicago, I want somebody with me. You really don't need somebody with you necessarily from Chicago. You really need somebody once you land into Jeddah. That's where your challenges, that's where your concern starts. So once you land into Jeddah, alhamdulillah, you are under the guidance of Rawaf immediately at the airport, and once you get to the hotel, you are under the guidance of our team, inshallah. So, okay, all right. Any last question, please?
Can I add something, please, Brother Farid?
Yes, Brother Hassan.
Yes, usually, brother, he was asking about he will arrive. Usually what happens is, as you mentioned exactly, you don't need anybody in the domestic airports. Just as soon as you arrived over there in Jeddah, we have like, at that time, usually we have like a list for whoever is arriving and what time you're arriving. And as soon as you arrive, you're going to find like a representative from Rawaf Mina waiting for you in the airport. And as soon as you arrived over there to Jeddah or to Medina, he gave us like the information that you arrived, and we are in the hotel to prepare the room for you and to make sure that the room, inshallah, will be ready for you. And we're going to be waiting for you in the airport. And from that time, as Brother Farid mentioned, we're going to start the trip, and you're going to start have all the what time you're going to move from here to here and all this stuff. And we're going to be starting the trip from over there, inshallah. Rabbil Alameen. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Hassan. And if you're in the survey that we are doing, the Hujjat survey, that's one of the reasons we are asking for all the detail. We are collecting the information, especially if you've done a custom flight, for example. We want to know when you're arriving. We want to know which flight you're arriving. Then we can share all this information with Rawaf so that they are prepared to welcome you at the airport. Again, airport meaning in Jeddah and Medina, not in Riyadh. So they will be there in Jeddah and Medina to welcome you, which is your final destination to start the Hajj journey, inshallah. Okay. Wasim, are we taking any more or we are done?
I mean, people have hands up, but I mean, you tell me how much time you have. Yeah.
Let me look at the time. Let's go ahead and take a few more, just so that and please limit your questions to the introductory questions, okay? The details of the logistics, the detail of the fiqh we'll handle later, inshallah ta'ala. And we'll get into very detailed discussions on those things. Go ahead, please.
Brother Muhammad Ahmad, you're next.
Assalamu
Brother
alaikum,
Muhammad, go
brother.
ahead.
Yes, assalamu alaikum, Mr. Farid.
Walaikum
The
salam.
first question. I have my flight will be from Egypt to Jeddah, and I'm wondering if I can book the ticket for the train by myself or not.
Again, my recommendation right now is, unless you have a strong reason doing the train, I would suggest you hold off on it and let things settle down, and then we can discuss. You should discuss that directly with your guide to make sure the timing that you're booking, etc., works properly with the rest of the arrangement. Because we do not want you to get into Makkah, for example, and find that your hotel room is not ready. We do not want that, because you will be there 2 hours, like 4 hours earlier, and if the hotel room is not ready, it'll cause you frustration. So we want to make sure that we are all together. So just hold off making any of these reservations until we have all the information together, and then maybe we can start looking into that.
My package will start in Medina, not in Mecca.
That's okay. In either ways. Most of the packages will start in Medina, but some are starting in Makkah. We know that.
Okay, so you recommend to wait until
I would
you are
suggest that.
finding a guide, and I will
Yeah.
communicate with him. Is that what
Right.
you?
Yeah. The transportation from Makkah to Medina will be taken care of by the service provider, and most probably it's going to be by road. If you do want to make it by Haramain train from rail from Jeddah to Medina, let's discuss that later, inshallah.
Inshallah. جزاك الله خير يا زلمة.
Barakallah.
Sister Fatima?
Just, I'm sorry, can I add something for Brother Muhammad?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Musa.
Brother Muhammad, the problem is, as you know, right now the new system is changing. Usually, when we move, especially during the Hajj, you have to move with the passport. You have to move with the bus, which is you assigned to. It's a little bit critical. It's not like the Umrah. You have the flexibility to move left and right. It's no problem. But during the Hajj, it's like they are very, very, very tight. You have to stick with the group. From Medina to Mecca, I don't know if you're going to be able to use the train or not with the new system. And as Brother Fried mentioned in the beginning, there is a lot of changes. About to take a decision right now and make a reservation for the train, and you're not going to be able to use it because we don't know if Rawaf going to say yes, and the Saudi government with the new system, they make it easy for you to use it or not. Just wait a little bit, because we don't need you to get spend some money, and in the end, I know, because the price for the train is going high and is not staying in one price. If you buy it right now, then you buy it in Hajj time. But the point is, we don't know if you're going to be able to use it or not. So let's try to wait a little bit, as Mr. Farid. So a lot of things from this one are going to be showing, and Rawaf Mina, they're going to update us with all these details. Thank you.
Inshallah. Okay. Okay, brother. So just wait for a little bit, inshallah. We'll work with you, inshallah. Ta'ala. Okay.
Inshallah. جزاك الله خير.
Sister,
Okay.
Sister Fatima, are you
Next
there?
question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sister.
هخرج ها. أنا
Hi.
Go ahead,
هخرج
Sister
عشان
Fatima.
أكلم الراجل.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so my question is, I have my package starts in Medina, but my flight is going to Mecca. So I know you guys are
No,
saying
no.
that.
Let me stop you right there. No flight goes to Makkah. The flight goes to Jeddah. Okay.
Oh, Jeddah. Sorry,
Right.
Jeddah. Yeah, so it's Jeddah. But so I know there is transportation. I was thinking if I can book different flight from Dubai to Medina directly. Is that possible, or I have to go to Jeddah?
No. You mean are you doing a custom flight, or is this a
I
group
have
flight?
done a custom flight, but in that kiosk I messed up. I have I am reaching Jeddah.
Of course, you can do that. Of course, you can do that. Because it's a custom flight, you will have to contact the airline that you booked through and make that arrangement with them.
I did
And the only
contact
thing,
Saudi. It was a
well,
Saudi Airlines. They said no, Nusuk will do it. Nusuk said no, you have to go
we
talk to
just
Rawaf. So
just wait,
I'm.
sister.
So my
Just wait.
question is, yeah,
No,
no,
no.
no, I
What I'm going
know.
to suggest, all these flight changes, just wait for a little bit, because see, right
No, I
now,
have to book my another flight from to Dubai. So that's my question here. So I was thinking to just fix this one. But my question is not that I can do that later on the flight, but is it because we bought it through Nusk, is it for me now mandatory to go through Jeddah, or I can just go from directly to Medina? That
you
is
mean
my
on a
question.
separate flight on your own flight, you can do that
On
on
my
your own.
own, yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. There is no restriction that you have to fly on the same flight that you got the package on. It's not
Oh,
necessary.
yeah,
So yeah,
because
one clarification there will be that if you skip the first leg of the flight, the
oh
remaining legs
yeah.
also get cancelled. So your return flight will also be cancelled. That's the one thing you have to be
Right,
careful.
Right. That's what my husband was saying, that it will
right.
create
Very
that
good point.
problems.
Very good point. Be careful about that. But
Yeah.
I was referring to if you are planning on buying a completely different round trip ticket, because you are going to fly from Dubai to Jeddah, right? So
Mm-hmm.
instead, if you plan on replacing that completely from your location to Mina, Jeddah, and back home, you can do that one, okay? But to Wasim's point, if you miss your first leg, your entire ticket could get canceled. So be careful about that.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I
Okay.
will
Yeah.
see what I can do.
And worst case, even if you did fly into Jeddah, I mean, a lot of people are going to do that. So if let's say you are not able to change, it's not, it's slightly more inconvenient with the travel, additional travel, but a lot of people will do that. So, don't make any big decisions based on that. Basically, it is a
My
doable
uh,
journey.
I have another question. I mean, I don't know whether that's right or not. My mom was telling me that you should go to Jeddah, you should go to Makkah first, and then go to Medina. Usually, that is what is needed. Is there anything real requirement
No, no,
like
no, sir.
that, or?
No, 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 no. There is no requirement as such. It depends on preferences of people sometimes, but from a practical perspective, okay, I'll just give you from a practical perspective. It's always good to go to Medina first because it allows you to settle down, acclimatize to the weather, etc., and then in a relaxed manner change into ihram and go into Makkah. If you are going to Makkah first, you will have to put the ihram at the one of the airports before getting into the flight, unless you are on a Saudi, which allows you to change ihram on the flight. Okay, they have that facility. But if you're flying but other airline, you'll have to change it at the airport if you're going to Makkah first. But if you're going to Medina, it's a lot more relaxing. You can travel, relax, go to Medina, settle down, and then change into ihram and then go to Makkah. Okay,
No, but
right?
in my case, like I'm just going to the airport, Jeddah. Do I have to still do the
No, you
ihram?
don't.
I mean,
No,
okay.
if you're going to Medina first, you don't.
No, like now I have the flight to Jeddah, so I
No,
don't
no.
have to, unless I
Sister,
have.
sister, what I mean is if your first destination, okay, your
Mhm.
hotel first is in Medina, then you don't need to get into ihram.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. All
All
right.
right.
Thank you so much.
Next question, please.
So last we will take Brother Ibrahim.
Brother Ibrahim.
Salam alaikum, brothers.
Walaikum salam, Brother Ibrahim.
I appreciate a lot what you do for the group, and Allah will make jazakallah khair, brothers.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, I have a question. Before last Saturday, before they opened the packages for sale, I topped my wallet about 1200 SAR, and that 1200 SAR never reached my e-wallet. But alhamdulillah, I was able to secure a package without this 12,000 SAR. Now, brothers, the bank here, which is I use a debit card, the bank here said the transaction is pending, and they waiting for Nusuk to take the money, but Nusuk never took the money. And my question is, I draw some money from Nusuk just lately today. My question is, can can Nusuk just cancel that transaction and the bank will put back the money back into my account? Or this money has to go back to the Nusuk so I can withdraw it back? Is that
Okay. Okay, let me quickly answer that question. You cannot ask Nusuk to cancel their transaction. Okay, that will probably not happen. So most probably, what's going to happen in your case is that transaction is probably not even reach Nusuk. Is probably going to end up coming right back to you. Okay, most probably it is stuck somewhere in the clearing houses. This has happened with a few other people. Unfortunately, you lose access to the money, but it'll come right back to your account without even reaching Nusuk. In most probably, that's what's going to happen. Okay.
Jazakallah khair, brother.
Barakallah fi. Okay. So inshallah ta'ala, as I said, we are going to have other multiple webinars. Just relax, enjoy the Ramadan, stop worrying about your visa, about your tickets, etc. You have enough time. Just if you have to do a connecting flight, look at that one. Okay. But other than that, start getting ready for the Hajj spiritually and physically, and enjoy the month of Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr إلى الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. If anything good we have done in this session, if we have delivered, if we have helped anybody, it's only due to the blessings of Allah Ta'ala, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. If any shortcoming is our mistake, and I sincerely ask for forgiveness. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.